Okay, so I have 11.3. Let's talk about what this is. This is basically the use of the demonstratives. We'll just call the demons, okay? Uses of demons, demonstratives, where we can distinguish between demonstrative pronoun and demonstrative adjective. Okay? Let me give you an example of the difference between a demonstrative pronoun and a demonstrative adjective. I could say, this stinks. Or I could say, this sock stinks. Okay. Which one of these words is my demonstrative word? This. That's exactly right. So this is a demonstrative word. Which one of these is merely a demonstrative word functioning as a pronoun? The first one. A pronoun is a word that replaces a noun, right? And what do nouns do? Well, nouns function in sentences in fairly typical ways, and one common way a noun functions is as a subject of a verb, right? Is this pronoun the subject of the verb stinks? Yes, it is. And whatever a noun can do, a pronoun can do. If a noun can be a subject, a pronoun can be a subject. And this pronoun is the subject. Look at the expression in the next one, this sock stinks. My verb is stinks. What's the subject of stinks in the second sentence? Yes, it's the sock that stinks. So how is my demonstrative word functioning here? This. Is it a pronoun or is it an adjective? It is an adjective. Exactly. When I have a demonstrative word functioning as an adjective, it will accompany a noun that it agrees with in gender and number. And notice this accompanies a noun, sock. This is singular and sock is singular, right? If I wanted to say socks and use the demonstrative, which form of the demonstrative adjective, what's that? Stink. Which form of the demonstrative would I have to use here? Would I say this sock stinks? No. I would say these socks stink. Notice that my demonstrative has to agree with the noun that it modifies when it is an adjective, right? So these is a demonstrative adjective. So demonstrative adjectives are demonstrative words that modify an explicit noun. Demonstrative pronouns, on the other hand, are demonstrative words that occur as if they were the noun, because they are in fact pronouns. All right? Does that make sense? Yes. I'm using the near demonstratives for these examples, but I could replace them all with the far demonstratives just as well, couldn't I? I could change this to what? I could change it to that. That stinks. Is this a pronoun or an adjective use of the word that? It's a pronoun. And then I could change this sock stinks to that sock stinks. And it would be what? A pronoun or an adjective use of the demonstrative? It would be the adjective use. That sock stinks. Okay? So, you've got the English concept. The Hebrew one is not that difficult because you already know about attributive adjectives. Because anytime I have a demonstrative functioning as a demonstrative adjective, it's going to behave like an attributive adjective. So let's walk through this. On Ross page 95, he talks first about the demonstrative pronouns. Okay? So demonstrative pronouns. How are we going to see these? When you have a demonstrative pronoun use of the demonstrative, this is the critical thing, okay? The demonstrative word is an arthrus. What does that mean? No article. The demonstrative word is an arthrus. No article. It also means that the demonstrative word functions as a noun because pronouns behave like nouns. So functions as a noun. All right? If it's functioning as a noun, it's not modifying anything. It is the noun. Okay? It's taking the place of a noun. So, Ross gives you a couple of examples here, and we'll go through a couple of these. We have ze habayit. Is there a verb in this sentence? No, there's no verb. So this is a copular clause. I'm making an assertion about something. I need to use is. Something is something or somewhere. Okay? Which one of these is more likely the subject, the house or the this? This. This will be my subject, and then this will be the predicate telling me something about the ze. Okay? Now, this is an arthrus, isn't it? The word ze is a near demonstrative. It's near, and it's an arthrus. No article. So it's a pronoun use. I'm going to translate this as this, not this something, but just this. Then I add my copula, is. It's not in Hebrew. This is. And then habayit, this is the house. Okay? This is the house. That's easy enough, right? It's not this house. It's this is the house. Okay? It's functioning independently as a noun. It's not modifying anything. Second example. We have zot isha tova. What form of the demonstrative is zot? Is that, well, first of all, is it the near or the far demonstrative? It's near. So how will I translate near demonstratives? This or these, right? Okay. Now, here is zot. It's feminine and singular, right? Zot. Is there an article on it? No. Then it is the demonstrative pronoun. And I can't translate it as this blank where I'm going to have some noun that it modifies because it's not an adjective. It's a pronoun. It's just this. This feminine thing or this feminine person. Now, I have isha tova. Notice isha is a noun and tova is an adjective. What kind of adjective is tova here? It's feminine singular, right? So the adjective agrees with the noun. It follows the noun. They're both not definite. What kind of adjective is it? Attributive or predicate? It's attributive. So what kind of woman am I talking about? Yeah, it's a good woman, right? So I have this, a good woman. Remember in Hebrew, I can have sentences that don't have a verb. I got to supply the verb here, don't I? What am I going to add? Is. Is. This is a good woman. Where zot is my subject, and the whole rest of this is my predicate. Okay, it's what this is. The last example has eile. What does eile mean? What's eile? These. These. You guys are so quiet. Yeah. What's the word for lost, huh? Okay, so we have Ele ha'anashim ha'chachamim. Okay? Ele ha'anashim ha'chachamim. Is ele the near or the far demonstrative? It's near. It's near. And so I need to translate it. Is it singular or plural? Plural. So I need to translate it as these. Now, should I expect it to modify a noun, like these boys, these toys, and so forth? Well, I don't know. Is it a demonstrative pronoun or a demonstrative adjective? Is there an article on it?
No.
No. Well, if it's anarthrous, it must be the demonstrative what? It's a demonstrative pronoun. Okay? So I'm not going to expect a noun to follow it and be modified by it. It's just these. Okay? It's functioning independently as a pronoun. These. Now, what am I saying about these? Again, there's no verb here. My copula is going to be inserted in my English translation. Ha'anashim ha'hakamim. Notice I have some ha-ha action going here, right? Is anashim a noun? Yes? Is hakamim an adjective? This is the adjective hakam, which means what? Well, that's the noun. But what about the adjective? Hakam means wise. Wise. So I've got ha-ha. I have a noun followed by an adjective. Do they match gender and number as well as the definiteness, ha-ha?
Yes.
Yes, they're both masculine plural, im. So this is what kind of an adjective?
Attributive.
Attributive. And so this is telling me that these are what kind of men? Wise men. The wise men. So these, the wise men, and I got to put my copula here, right? So these are the wise men. Okay? This is not saying these wise men as if it were an adjective, but rather these are the wise men. Okay? When we have demonstrative pronouns, the demonstrative pronouns are going to have a gender and a number for the most part, unless they have a common form, and then it'll just be like ele is common plural, but you don't distinguish the gender. But still, what will determine whether I use a masculine or a feminine form of, say, this? Well, it's whatever this is referring to. So if this is a house, and I'm pointing to a house which is masculine in Hebrew grammar, then which form of this do I use? I'm going to use a masculine form, right? And if I'm pointing to a woman and saying this is a woman, then which form of this am I going to use? The feminine form, right? Okay, so you see how this works. Now, that's the demonstrative pronoun. Let's talk about the demonstrative adjective. And I'd like to do it by using the exact same examples here. Okay? So when we have our demonstratives functioning as a demonstrative adjective, what we're going to see is that they behave exactly like attributive adjectives. And what did we learn about the attributive adjectives? In terms of position, where do they have to go? Okay, good. Position is always after the noun, and the agreement features are that they have to agree in what ways? Definiteness, number, gender. Right, exactly. Okay? So let's talk about how we said this is the house, ze habayit. But what if I wanted to say not this is the house, but rather this house? This house. How would I say that in Hebrew? What would have to come first to say this house? house. Okay? And it's going to be ha-bayit. Ha-bayit. The house. And then, where do I put this? After. What's the word for this? The masculine singular form? It's they. And then I have to make it agree with house, not only in gender and number, but in definiteness. So if it's ha-bayit, it needs to be ha-zeh. Okay? So now I have ha-bayit, ha-zeh. Ha-bayit, ha-zeh. Literally, the house, the this. And the house, the this, is which house? This house. So notice that my noun has the article because the demonstrative adjective has to have the article. Okay? And when the demonstrative adjective is in fact functioning as an attributive adjective, then it has to agree with the noun in gender, number, and definiteness. I need the ha-ha here. Okay? Now, are you going to translate ha-bayit as the house, as in this house? Or this, the house? No. You're just going to say this house. By adding the demonstrative word, you are making the word house definite. It's referring to a specific house now, isn't it? It's not any old house. It's this house. And that's why ha-bayit has an article. So ha-bayit, ha-zeh, this house. Let's go back up to our second example. We said zot isha tova. This is a good woman, where this is the pronoun. This is a good woman. But what if I wanted to say this woman as an adjective? This woman. What would I have to do here? This woman, which word has to come first in Hebrew? Woman or this? Yeah, I need woman first, right? So ha, isha, the woman. And then how would I say this? Ah, yes. Good. I used the feminine singular form of zeh because we're talking about a woman, zot, but I need to add the article because ha-isha has the article. So ha-isha, ha-zot. The woman, the this, is this woman. It's telling you which woman. Not what the woman is, but which woman we're talking about. Okay? Now, the last example would be Ele ha'anashim ha'hakamim. These are the wise men. But what if I just wanted to say these men, using Ele? These men. Well, if I want to say these men, which word, if this is a demonstrative adjective, which men, these men, which has to come first, the noun or the demonstrative adjective? The noun does. So I have to say ha anashim, right? Ha anashim. And then I put these after, which is, these is one form, common plural. It's a le, with the accent here. Can I leave it like that? No. I need the article. I got to have ha here. Ha anashim ha ele. So the men, the these, is these men. Okay? You see how this works? What if I wanted to say not just this house, but this good house? Where would I fit good? Would good be a predicate or an attributive adjective in this good house? It would be attributive. So where would my attributive adjective tov go in relation to habayit, before or after? It would have to go after. But the question is, would it go after the demonstrative as well, or would it go before the demonstrative? That's the question, right? And what's the answer here? What do you think? Yes, it's going to go before. So here is the deal, okay? We're going to have to move this over and get that adjective in between. So habayit ha tov ha ze. Okay? So in literal order, it's the house, the good, the this, which is really beautiful Hebrew, isn't it? The house, the good, the this. And you're going to translate the demonstrative first, aren't you? So what's last in your phrase is first in your English. The house, the good, the this is this good house. Okay? In English, you can't just put your adjective in any order with relative to the demonstrative either, can you? You can't say good this house. It's got to be this good house, right? So there's a fixed order in English. There's also a fixed order in Hebrew, okay? We're going to put the demonstrative on the end. It takes the outermost spot. Okay, so what if I wanted to say this good woman? This good woman. I can't put good after hazot, can I? It's got to go where? It's got to go after the noun and before the demonstrative. Ha-isha, what? Ha to va hazot. Ha-isha ha-tova hazot. The woman, the good, the this is this good woman. All right? And now finally, how would I say these good men? These good men. Where's good going to go? Yep, it's going to go after the noun but before the demonstrative adjective. Ha-anashim, ha-to-vim, ha-ele. Right? So, these good men. The men, the good, the these. These good men. Okay, so you are now experts in the demonstratives. Yay. Let's do one other thing with these before we end. And that is, we've been using the near demonstratives in all of these examples. But let's switch to the far demonstratives, okay? So, what would be the pronoun to use to say not this good house, but that good house? Can I use they and zot and ele? No, I gotta use the forms of who, okay? So that good house, that good woman, and those good men. So I'm gonna have to do some surgery here, right? I can't say habayit hatov hazeh. I have to say habayit hatov ha what? This is masculine singular, so I got to use the masculine singular form. And which one is masculine singular? Hahu. Good. So habayit hatov hahu. The house, the good, the that is that good house. What about that good woman? I can't use ha-isha ha-tova ha-zot. I have to change zot to what? Yeah, I got to go from who to he, right? So it's ha-isha ha-tova ha-he. The woman, the good, the that, which is that good woman. And then over here I have ha-anashim ha-tovim ha-ele, these good men. But I want to say those good men now. And how am I going to do that? I can't use ele because that's the near demonstrative. I have to use the far demonstrative. I got to use what gender and number for the far demonstrative? Masculine plural or feminine plural? Masculine plural, because ha-anashim is masculine plural. So it's going to be ha-haim, right? Or ha-hema, ha-haim or ha-hema. Either way, I got to use the masculine plural form. So ha-anashim, ha-tovim, ha-haim is the men, the good, the those, which is those good men. All right, so you see how this works? With the near and the far, we're doing the exact same thing. Now, you might come to the word hahu, and you might be tempted not to translate hahu as that, but you might remember, oh, who is he? Maybe that's the word he. Maybe that's the independent personal pronoun he, right? And would that make sense? The house, the good, the he. No. The independent pronoun never, ever occurs with an article on it. Ever. Okay? So if there's ever an article on it, it can only be the far demonstrative, that or those. If, on the other hand, let me just give you one example here, and we'll be done with it. If I had something like hu ha'ish, and I've got who with no article on it, there's actually two possibilities here. How could I understand it? In the first case, the who could be a personal pronoun, and if it's a personal pronoun, it's he. He is the man. Secondly, who could also be the demonstrative pronoun, in which case I'm going to translate it as that is the man. Okay? On the other hand, if I have ha'ish, hahu, there is only one possibility for it. What must that be? It must be the demonstrative adjective, right? Because only the demonstrative adjective gets the article on it. So I have to translate it as that man. And I'm not done. I must have some more to my sentence, right? That man did something. Or I love that man.